Guess what was the reaction from the Bushmen when this news broke? Were they okay? Did they have to go for some sympathy beers? Was there some poured out for the homies? What was going on there?
Yeah. So as of right now, they're in hibernation. No one's heard anything about the Bushmen. So I'm sure they're gonna find out. If not, if they already know. Who knows what's gonna happen? If they're gonna be chirping me, or they already been working on all the chirps that they're gonna be calling me during the game.
Well, Neil, you'd think for an off-season and 20 centimeters of snow falling in the last 24 hours here where we are, there wouldn't really be much baseball to talk about, but apparently the IBL
It's
has
just
other things in mind.
everybody's just trying to hurry up and get the season going. We got to remind ourselves we're at February 10th right now, and a lot of guys have got a lot, 2 or 3 teams have almost filled their rosters now.
Just feeling the love, it seems, on a day like this. There's so many signings to talk about, trades even as well. Let's get right into it. And are we just going to get a nation's capital team? Are we just going to have Ottawa return to the IBL at this point? I mean, come on.
It's sure sounding like we are. Just as clear as every time you go look at the Ottawa Titans transaction list, and there's yet another guy from the IBL now signing with the Ottawa Titans or going to the Quebec Capitals, and just it's great for those guys, but it's just like at the same time, it's like, hey, maybe we should have really put a team back in Ottawa.
Hey, I mean,
taking care of some of this.
Look for a 10th team to even it out, make 2 divisions. Ottawa would fit pretty nicely in there.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's just like I think the last week we saw Kenisi Joe now, and of course it hasn't been announced officially by Pare or anybody else, but Nolan Mackey-Broda has also signed with the Ottawa Titans as of sometime, I think last Thursday or Friday as well. It's on the transaction wire now for the Titans, but they haven't come out and officially announced it yet because I guess they're just taking a few days off here and there to just spread out their announcements.
Well, I mean, it's all about the algorithms, right? I mean, you could have 4 or 5 different guys signed with the same team within 12 hours, but hey, we need content, right?
Oh, exactly, and it's nice for me doing my editor job now, which it hasn't really officially been announced, but we've kind of been leaking it out. But yeah, it was some guy hasn't wrote his own press release yet. So,
it's just kind of LinkedIn. It should be official now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so for the folks that don't know, I am officially now the director of social media for the Intercounty Baseball League. So I guess we can let the cat out of the bag for the last 6 months we've been doing it.
Are you telling me that after all this time, we're the ones breaking it here on the pod?
I think we are breaking it here on the pod.
If Ted gives us some phone calls.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, you broke it out this way. I guess we did. So we did. But yes, it's been. They asked in September. They were in a little bit of a pinch, and it was like, okay, yeah, well, we can do this. And then, they had actually cryptically forgot to answer back to one of the Twitter posts and everything else. Yeah, we can do something. This was 2 years ago, and it just never got back to whoever was supposed to get back to that. And they added some interns in there and some times and some other changes and everything else. So we took that over, and we've been doing it for the last 6 months. So we're having fun doing it.
You've been the mystery man behind everything.
Yeah, having lots of fun with it.
How has it been trying to hold on to this secret?
It's been interesting because it's just like my kids are even like, we're allowed to tell anybody that or not. I'm like, no, just don't say anything. Don't say anything. And it's just like it's not those things. Like, it's not one of those things where if you won the lottery, there's going to be signs. It's just kind of opposite. It's
Why
like,
is there a Lambo just sitting in your parking lot in your driveway?
Yeah, not in this driveway. No, definitely not that one.
No. Not in this weather.
Nope, not in this weather.
No. So let's touch on a few of the other notes that are coming through the IBL in the last little bit since we last chatted. A couple of big things that did come out, a couple of trades to discuss, including one between Hamilton and Chatham-Kent.
That one kind of threw me off guard, but I kind of knew that Hamilton had another pitcher coming very shortly, so they had to free up an import spot, and I guess it just came together in a hurry too, because when it dropped, it was like Friday night at 7:00. I think I sent you a text message, hey, this is dropping in like 3 minutes now, and it's like, oh, okay. So this happens. So Masuki Atsuka has gone to Chatham for Josh Williams. Williams, of course, was last year, started the season with Hamilton. He got there because of a trade with London the year before for Kenny Caruso. And it just didn't work out with Williams. He got hurt a little bit, and then so they released him. Then Chatham Kent picked him up. So he was there for the last tail end of their season, helped them in the playoffs. I think it's another great addition for the Cardinals once again, just to get another bat, another person that can play first base. So the nights that Tanner Rempel's busy coaching or unavailable or anything else, they got another solid glove and a guy that can still swing the bat pretty well in Williams. And of course, going the other way, Atsuki Atsuka is, well, a great pitcher. Let's put it that way. So the Chatham Kent Barnstormers are going to be, they definitely shored up their rotation with this move as well. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, Atsuka, they only gave up 11 walks all last year too. So he's going to be as long as he can keep the ball in the yard in Chatham Kent, I think he's going to be okay.
It's just mind-boggling. Again, you always like a trade where it looks like both teams have benefited from it, and that's really what both sides want at the end of the day.
No question, Dune, of course. And you want to touch a little bit on the Kitchener trade as well, the transaction that went through. Again, just I think a day before, two days before that was Charlie Towers going from Toronto to Kitchener, and then of course Spencer Ross going closer to home in Toronto now, as far as the infield, sort of the team swapping infielders.
Yeah, so my intel is that Spencer Ross plays for the University of Toronto, has a previous relationship with Rob Butler as well, and the move just kind of made sense. Spencer wants to play closer to home, if you will, play closer to his university team as well, and ends up causing this trade to end up happening. Charlie Towers moves over to Kitchener at the end of the day, and that's another trade that's really, I feel, both sides really benefit from.
No question they do, and especially now that I don't know if they've actually officially announced or not, but Raul Gonzalez has been put on the inactive list as far as the Panthers go too. So now it's okay. There's a huge void over there. That's a great spot for Charlie Towers to step in, which traditionally has been a shortstop for most of his career growing up too. So I think that's probably just his natural position, where he played a little bit with Vinicio at shortstop, but most of the time he was over at second base last year for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and so that Kitchener infield, we'll have to see how things end up going into the new season. But I do feel like the pieces that they have added um, have really been, some pretty quality pieces. One big piece that signed with the Kitchener Panthers, Trent Lawson, a guy that I
Yeah.
have seen pitch before, but primarily as an outfielder, and really helps out in that outfield position. And obviously we touched on it beforehand, and not having a Blake Jacklett out in the outfield this upcoming season is going to be a big loss. But Trent Lawson kind of fills in that gap pretty nicely too.
Oh, exactly. But you still think about what they still do have in the outfield. You still got Klaus Alpovich, and you've got Jet Jarvis waiting the wings too. So it's just going to be those guys are going to come out and help some fun there too. But yeah, the loss of Jacqueline is huge. But again, it's for the right reasons. In Jacqueline's case, you got a job with the NCAA this summer, right out of high school, right out of the college. I almost said it was high school. Geez, that's how long we've been going. But yeah,
Well,
that's
the
great
thing
for Blake.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I mean, another guy, Eric Martin, who I really feel like, he had a good first run with the senior team. I believe
Hmm.
5 home runs in 8 games in the one year that he played. Limited
Yeah.
time on that roster, mind you, but I do really feel like he's waiting for that extra breakout year, and 2025 might be that breakout year as well. Haven't seen him sign as of yet, but I mean, that's another outfield option that the Kitchener Panthers can possibly look at for not only 2025, perhaps, but years to come.
No question. And I think that you're going to see it definitely. You're going to see Sharif trying to put his own little mark on this team as far as everything else goes. Yes, I think the import spots are spoken for, but they haven't announced them all yet. But I think for the most part, they're pretty much locked in. Like, well, Beamer had actually done most of the contract negotiations before the team was officially sold.
Yeah, and I think at this stage, it's all about trying to get the visa issue sorted out before they can officially
Yeah.
come out and announce the signings, if you will. I feel like they're kind of they're there. They're just finalizing everything, and I'm sure that those announcements will come out in the coming weeks, I would imagine.
Oh, no question. Of course, we should probably mention just up the road here. Well, actually, literally up the road here from where I am is the Guelph Royals here at Hastings Stadium. Of course, they named a new general manager and a new assistant general manager. Ryan Eakin takes over as the assistant general manager, and Adam Fanjoy, which is a name that's probably familiar to a lot of IBL folks. And of course, he was the former president of the Guelph Minor Baseball as well. So he's no stranger to the IBL as far as that. He was an umpire for many, many years in this league. Plus, he does a lot of umpiring in the junior leagues too. So definitely going to have his finger on the pulse here. Let's put it that way. He knows a lot of players.
What hasn't Ryan Eakin done in this league?
Um, Not much now. I think he's coming close to about the same number of things I've done. So yeah, it's like he's getting pretty close. Like the only thing he hasn't done is coached on field yet.
Just adding to the resume. Hey, you never know. I mean, if
Yeah.
Dino gets kicked out a
Oh,
couple of
exactly.
times and Paul isn't available, hey, Ryan, jump down.
Yeah, jump on down. You never know.
Some of the other notable names that you have on our run sheet here: Jose Dominguez and Ramon Sanchez. Maybe tell me a little bit about their destinations and what they bring to the table.
Okay, so Jose Dominguez, of course, signing with the Welland Jackfish, not very recently as well. Of course, former San Diego Padres professional player, and he still has the gas in him as far as that stuff goes. So you're going to see him throw a lot of fastballs, and I think that, of course, when they put one of the guys on. They put. I'm looking for the list here. Where did it go? I'm drawing a blank now. There it is. Yeah, Enrique Saldana is actually on the inactive list right now. So as far as that, we thought for sure he was coming back, but again, it's just sometimes the guys get better opportunities somewhere else, or they decide they stay closer to home. I think he's sticking in the Mexican League, or with that he isn't. He's not planning on coming back up this summer. So the Jackfish, always being very 2 steps ahead of them and everything else is just okay. We got somebody else. We got Plan B or something going as far as that stuff goes, and of course, then we got, of course, Ramon Sanchez, which was announced this morning. Of course, is the 5th import for the Hamilton Cardinals, which is why Axuka was made expendable a little bit as far as the trade options go. So that's why Axuka moved to Chatham Kent, and Ramon Sanchez, who, as they were touting him out, throws a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's got a spin rate that's higher than the major league average. So some guys are going to be dancing in the box a little bit. The stuff's going to be moving. That's a lot of heat.
Well, some of the other signings that I'm looking at right here too. I mean, another guy brought back in for the Jackfish, Brandon Markland, ends up signing. Dustin Richardson also re-signing with the Maple Leafs. I mean,
that's another pro. That's just these pros keep coming back in this stuff, and Euclid's Layers back as well for the Jackfish. He was announced last week too, so it's just going to be the Jackfish are they're not taking their defeats, not resting lightly on their shoulders last year. They're definitely trying to get back into that final spot and definitely contending again in 25.
I think they're going to have their entire roster filled out by the time we end up finishing recording this the way they're going.
They're getting close there, that's for sure. And I think, I'm pretty sure Barry is pretty much all said and done. They're pretty much locked in as far as their roster too. Like they're just working on their junior team now, as far as this stuff goes. But again, like we said, Macabrodia just getting signed, hasn't been officially announced by either club, but it's going to probably come out sometime this week as far as Ottawa and everything else. It is on the transactional list on the Frontier League, so Sam, don't get mad at us. We're just we're for recording sakes and content sake. We're not sure when this is airing, so
Do we reach out to Sam and say, "Hey, get on this"?
Just a heads up. Maybe we should flip him that little heads up as as a courtesy and anything, because we like Sam.
We're all about courtesy here, right?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah, we'll get some of the other media folk in the league around, some of the other broadcasters around the league to come on with us as the season gets closer. We'll bring Sam on and kind of rib him a little bit just to have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
The other
So I guess there's. Yeah,
the other note is the London Majors have something big cooking up at the end of the month, and the only teaser that they have out there right now is the London Majors logo embedded into a tree with an axe.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say that looks like a spruce tree, perhaps an oak,
Yeah.
but what do
Well,
you think they're
yeah.
cooking?
I don't know. Like my first initial thoughts was like, okay, it's the forest city. So they're talking about Sasquatches. Is there a big move? Is there a big foot move around a foot here or something like that? It was just something. I was having some play on words, and of course, Matt Hitchcock is mum's word. He won't say anything to anybody about it. So of course, he does their social media, and he's the team photographer, and he also runs all the broadcast stuff behind the scenes. So if Matt's not going to tell you, it's something pretty big.
Yeah, I tried to get at him this morning, and yeah, no. I even asked him
I know.
if it does it have something to do with, and he's like, no, no,
No, not telling.
no.
Well, that's good. At least it's not secret. I don't want to see Matt getting Roop's doghouse for no reason at all.
No, exactly. Roop, if you're listening to this, Matt's good people did not spill the
Yeah.
beans whatsoever.
He did not spill no beans. He didn't. We have no idea what's going on.
Not at all. Johnathan Solazzo moving over to the Hamilton Cardinals, and we have him on the other side of the break. It's unless you have anything else to add, Neil.
I think that's everything I had in the cupboards for the day, anyways, because I think the cupboards are now empty.
Do we sound the horn for the conductor to join us?
I think we do.
All right, tune in right after the break, folks. We have one of the newest members of the Hamilton Cardinals, Johnathan Solazzo, after this.
Hey there, folks. Mark Pare here from the IBL Inside Pitch. I'll keep this brief. John's waiting on the other side. Did you know that the Intercounty Baseball League has its own app? That's right. You can download it today on Apple. Soon to be coming for Android. There's still some things to work out there, but if you're an Apple customer, you can download the official Intercounty Baseball League app today. Track stats, scores, and much, much more right now.
Joining us now on the show is the conductor, Mr. Johnathan Solazzo. And Johnathan, well, what a couple of interesting things we had to, like, you and I had talked literally the night before the trade went down, and you said nothing, so I was just like, okay. And then I get this text message from Eric, you might want to check your phone in about 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, things happen fast. I just didn't want to break the news. I wanted to make sure it went through first before announcing it, and it was a long process, but Eric pulled through, and we got the deal happen. So
what went into the deal and the decision to move over from Toronto to Hamilton?
For the past couple of years, I've always liked what Hamilton was building. I was really interested in it. And after the season was done with the Leafs, I basically asked the GM, can I have permission to, start talking to other people, and especially with Eric, and gave me permission. And the rest was kind of history. And then I let the GMs kind of deal with, behind the scenes stuff, and it was a lot of back and forth, but Anat and Eric, they found a deal that worked for both clubs, and we made it happen.
How excited are you to be back you be back at Burning Arbor? I know you hit well all the time there, anyways, like you always have traditionally. So you're usually good for 1 or 2 home runs every turn the home stands against the Maple Leafs. So that.
I always love coming back playing Burning Arbor. Even when I played there, seeing familiar faces, old teammates, coaches, and it's weird. I played with Piano. He's played shortstop, and I played, third base, and now he's the coach. So, we got Jag as the hitting coach as well. So it's new, but also it's a good feeling going back home as well.
What excites you the most about this Hamilton roster as it's constructed right now? I mean, I can imagine over the next 100 days or so, less than 100 days before the season, there might be more pieces that kind of come into the fold. But what is it about this team as it's constructed right now that gives you a lot of excitement going into 2025?
I think they got an amazing pitching staff, and it seems like they're building each day, or adding another import to it. I definitely love the young crew. They have a lot of young talent that we can kind of build around and use the veterans and kind of put it here and there but it's a well-built team all around, and I think I always say pitching is going to win you a championship, and I think Hamilton has by far one of the best pitching staffs in the league.
No question they do, and it's going to be exciting to see you back at third base down there, and it's just going to be. We're going to have to sneak in Panda a few times, so I'm going to have to pay off the PA guys and the music guys just to sneak it in there. He's not hit. Give him the Panda shot or something just to get it back in there.
Right. Yeah, who knows? It might be my walk-up song this year. It's only fitting to, drop the Panda. So we'll see. It's still in the works.
The work schedule's kind of changed for you a little bit in the last couple of years as well. Maybe tell me a little bit about just how things have gone for you and being able to balance the schedule a little bit better now that you're not having to work through the night.
Yeah, thank God that's over with. I was working at CN Rail for 11 years, and majority of the time was working midnight, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I would just basically play a baseball game, take a quick shower, head to the railway, work for 8 hours, maybe sleep 5 hours, and then do it all over again. So now I just started at Via Rail about 2 years ago, and it's out there in the Mimico GO station, so it's about 10 minutes away from me. I'm on day shift. I'm working 10 to 6, which is so much better. I get to sleep in. I can kind of roll out, take my time, right?
Nice.
And I don't got to race to. I don't have to race to work afterwards. And I think that was the biggest thing it was catching up to me. It was definitely tough. Asking the coach, hey, look, I can only play 6 or 7 innings. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, I got to go to work.
I gotta drive from Kitchener to Toronto at I gotta be on the road by 10 o'clock at the very latest 9:25, and if I'm gonna get there in time.
Yeah.
I can tell you as a guy that worked mornings for radio for the longest time and switching my sleep schedule the last couple of years, it's such a difference.
Oh, huge. It still take me a lot of time to adjust to, regular people's sleep patterns, being on day shift and stuff, right? So I get to sleep in and go to bed at a reasonable time. And, on nights, it was kind of like you would only get sleep when you can, right? So 4 hours here, 5 hours. So it definitely took its toll.
So let's take you through, I don't know, a typical off season for you as far as preparation. What are you working on right now as far as now? I guess the Cardinals are back in the indoor facilities now a little bit, from what I'm hearing, anyways.
Yeah, so a few of the guys have reached out. They want to head up the strike zone there and start getting hitting going, taking their fielding, having live at bats and stuff like that. I usually like to start hitting probably first week of March. Kind of give my body a rest. It's been a long season. So right now, I just kind of been working out and kind of keeping busy as best I can. But now, right now, I'm basically looking at all brand new red sunglasses, undershirt, right? So making sure that's ready for the home opener. But yeah, I'm excited to get going, and it's going to be a special year, and I think a lot of the guys are hungry to play and start practicing and getting things going all around.
You're getting very close to the 100 home run mark. I think you're 87 now on the career as far as the regular season numbers. So 13 away from 100. I know Jordan Castaldo is now, I think, 2 away. He's at 98 now. So that would be as far as the active leaders. It's Brownlee at 121, Castaldo, then yourself. How does that make you feel as far as those numbers and everything else you going as far as in terms of longevity too? It's just when you started this thing, nobody expected you to be around as long as you have been too. So
I would have never thought me be playing baseball for this long. But after watching the documentary you did with Sean Riley there, and to see his numbers compared to other people's numbers, it's crazy. He is the best hitter of all time in the IBL. And, to be on that list in the top 5 or top 10 and in a lot of the hitting categories, it kind of makes you think wow, he did have a good career and it's still going well. And, a lot of these greats, they were coaches when I was younger, and I look up to a lot of these guys, and it makes you think how many years of baseball you have to play to, have these stats so high, right?
Yep.
So it means a lot to me, and it's definitely special.
15 years it's going to be now in the IBL, and there's kind of that transition period, I would imagine, for many different veterans around, and especially in the IBL now, where it seems like, there are some teams that are out there that they're getting way younger. I mean, there's guys that I think that were 19, 20 years old at some points playing in the last couple of years. What does it mean to you to kind of be that, perhaps that mentor to some of these younger guys that are coming into the league and guiding them along the way?
Man, I'm getting old. These young guys. I asked them, what year were you born? 2000, 2001.
Well, I know. I look at the dates of birth of some of these guys, going, okay, I got to do the math because 2000 makes them 10 and 2010 and everything else. I'm just like, holy crap, these guys are still so young.
Look at the walk-up songs out of the years too.
Yeah. Well, I know.
And I think I might be one of the oldest ones on. Yeah, I might.
Well,
be one
I just laugh at these guys. Yeah,
So,
you will be. Yeah, definitely. But it's like I look at this, like, for instance, University of Guelph teams. The guys were all listening, bringing Creed up as their walk-up songs. I'm telling them stories, going, I remember when this first came out. You guys weren't even born. Your mom and dad hadn't even met yet. Crying out loud.
Yeah, things have the game's changed. The IBL's changed a lot. I mean, I remember coming in the league, we had Rogers Video, doing televising the games and stuff like that. And over the years, YouTube and doing the live broadcasts and all that stuff. So the league's come a long way. A lot of teams have gone. A lot of new teams have come. But yeah, it's crazy how fast 15 years can go by, and you can still remember it's like your first game you played, right?
Yeah.
How was that, the live streaming in the last few years helped you in terms of perhaps doing some video and figuring out different swings of different players and actually kind of analyzing what different teams are doing and helping that in terms of your approach to a game on a game by game basis?
Yeah, I mean it's good to see my live at bats against these pitchers that either I struggled with or I had success with. And I can see if I'm dipping my shoulder too low or I'm way in front of the baseball. It helped me a lot in the past couple of years where I started going more middle and away, because everyone can pull a baseball, right? So I know they weren't pitching me inside, they were pitching me away, 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 and I couldn't reach those pitches. So I kept screenshotting the videos and the games that I had, and I realized what I needed to fix. So in the off season, I used that as material to change my approach and change my swing, just like the pitchers do against me each and every year.
All right. So yeah, I was thinking as far as going back and everything else, and then just trying to think, what do you have for your short-term goals, your long-term goals into going into this next season, as far as for you personally?
I mean, short term, I want to keep playing as long as I can, and obviously the number one goal is to finally win a championship. And I tell a lot of these guys that come in the league, and especially the young kids, is like, I've been in the league 15 years. I've only been in the finals 3 years out of the 15. It's hard to get there. And you look at teams like Pare or Brantford, that have those massive 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row, right? So, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, you're not guaranteed a championship no matter what team you go to. And, I just wanted to keep playing until I can't play no more. And, hopefully people can remember me as, a good ball player, nice guy, hit the ball hard, you know what I mean? Just an overall good guy, that loved baseball and loved the fans and loved to give back as much as I could, right?
Yeah. What is going to be the reaction? Well, what was the reaction from the Bushmen when this news broke? Were they okay? Did they have to go for some sympathy beers? Was there some poured out for the homies? What was going on there?
Yeah. So as of right now, they're in hibernation. No one's heard anything about the Bushmen. So I'm sure they're going to find out. If not, if they already know. Who knows what's going to happen, if they're going to be chirping me or they already been working on all the chirps that they're going to be calling me during the game, right?
I think I'm going to have to make the trip down to Dominique Field this year just for the Hamilton return. Anyways, I'm going to have to put that one on the calendar. Just I'm gonna have to mic those guys up in the corner just for the sake of having them mic'd up so we can hear it, because they were all over Tack. They were all over everybody else that's come back. But yeah, Tack, when Tack hit that first home run against him, it was just like, okay, yeah.
When the trade happened, that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, oh man, the Bushmen. What are they gonna say? You know what I mean? They're gonna be on me the whole entire time. But yeah, it's gonna be a special but also weird. Going back to Chrissy Pitts wearing a different jersey and being in the other visitors.
That tiny change room. That's in that washroom.
Hey, Jack still got those. Remember when Jack used to have the school bus there? He ripped out all the seats, and that's what I was sitting on for the past 10 years. So,
my goodness.
It's old school, but that's how the Leafs are. Yep. It's old school baseball. All right, so.
And you've had so much experience with Toronto, obviously going back to Hamilton too. What are some of the other sticking points in your career that you kind of really recall, and maybe some other ballparks? What are some of your favorite memories so far in some of the other ballparks here in the IBL? Who are the Bushmen of the other teams in the IBL, if you
will? Oh, there's a lot. Let's say. I mean, London's got a couple fans there. I don't know their names, but they're at third base, and they are on me from the first pitch to the last pitch. Johnny, just wearing me out. I think every stadium's got their own fans that like to chirp. Welland's had their fair share with me, but I've always loved playing at every park. You know what I mean? It's nice to go there. See different faces I haven't seen in a while, especially you guys, the other media guys and, different umpires, stuff like that. But I mean, there's a lot of memories. There's lots of memories. Countless ones that, top of my head, I can't really think of. But yeah, I think, this year when we did the All-Star game, I think that was really special. Yep. It's been a long time since, I think, 2015. I think that was the last one they had in Pare. Yeah, and, Welland put on a good show. I thought the home run derby was fun. I thought the game was fun. Our gear was, we got everything we needed, food, whatever. And
you weren't a big fan, but the ladies barbecue you took out a couple times wasn't a big fan of yours after the game was after the derby was over, though.
Yeah, I know it was definitely lots of fun there. I'm pretty sure they put that net up in Welland after one of the home runs I hit.
They definitely did.
Right. So, but yeah, I know it's a fun league and it's lots of memories, and every park's got their own special thing that we all love to play at, right?
Absolutely. The All-Star game happening in Hamilton this year too. What's it going to be like in that ballpark, hitting those home runs in that home run derby? You think you can crack what you accomplished this past year, or?
I think so. Obviously, with Christy Pitts, when they upped that fence with the chain monster, as we called it, it was definitely difficult. But with Bernie Arbin, when you get that that jet stream, you put that ball in the air and the ball's gonna fly. So I think, especially when the home run derby in Hamilton this year, it's going to be a lot of home runs, especially a lot of cars that are on left field. They better not park on the side.
There's always a parking strategy with different ballparks. Like I remember with Arnold Anderson Stadium.
Bernie Arbor, just so you know, Mark, when you come down this year.
Oh, absolutely, I will.
When you come down to Bernie Arbor this year, Mark, you want to park in the tennis court area. You don't want to park anywhere near the stadium, just because baseballs find you anywhere. Foul balls will find you. They squirt out in weird spots, so you wind up with a souvenir you weren't expecting and a car bill. So just be careful.
Yeah.
Park far away. Park far away.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think it's nice that Hamilton took on doing the All-Star game this year. And it's I think it's on a Sunday this year, so it's gonna be nice, right? Right. So it's gonna be a good time, and I think they got the perfect stadium to do it. They got a lot of bleachers, a lot of fans all over, and it's fairly close to everyone. So I think it's gonna it's going to be a good time. And I think it's something that hopefully we keep doing each and every other year, right?
We can hope. We can definitely hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're not playing baseball or training baseball or even doing work, what are some of the things you like to go out and do for fun?
Well, I always like to keep busy. That's my biggest thing. I'm a real routine person, as a lot of people know. I like to get up, go to the gym. That's one of my huge hobbies is, staying healthy, working out all the time. And I just started cooking. I started reading recipes, starting to,
Nice.
trying to be somewhat of a chef or try different recipes out. And it's kind of something I picked up this winter just to kind of keep myself busy. But yeah, pretty normal guy. I don't, do anything out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? I just kind of, keep to myself, work out, go to work, and hang out with friends here and there. As we get older, it's tough, right? It's not like everyone else has got things going
exactly.
on. Right.
Exactly.
So
It's just like when I interviewed Riley last week, it was like I was trying to remember the last time we had just sat down and chatted for more than 5 minutes over a text message or something. It was just like, okay,
yeah,
it's been a while.
I know. And then we want to say, oh, we're gonna hang out, and we never do, and 2 years, 3 years go by, right? So, but yeah, this is kind of what I do when I'm not playing baseball.
Fair enough. What are some of those recipes that you've been cooking up lately? Like going for spice or?
So lately I've been doing homemade burgers. I've been kind of fooling around with a couple recipes there. And what else did I do? I did stuffed peppers. So I've been kind of
Nice.
playing around with that. And just starting off small. You know what I mean? Starting off small.
Now, is it your mom or your dad that's got the giant sauce manufacturing plant going on at the Solazzo residence in the summertime?
So Papa Slaz and Mama Slaz there every September Labor Day weekend, I would say they'll get the bushels of tomatoes and they'll start making the tomato sauce. Huge process. You gotta the night before they're washing each tomato, they're laying them out to dry. Then you gotta boil them the next day, put them through the machine, and it's a big process. But it's a nice tradition that we've been keeping going for a long time, and it's a lot of work. And I definitely get the perks of the fresh tomato sauce all the time. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You
So
get
now
the
you guys
teammates
put in the
begging
jars.
for some of the sauce after, or
Yeah, I could bring you guys a couple of jars. One of the next home games.
I'm down. I'm down.
I'm in.
I'm down.
All right, there you go.
We're down. We're definitely down.
Okay, well, John, thank you so much for doing this, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate, like I said, everything you guys do, and for the league and the IBL. We've been loving the content, and what you guys do goes a long way, and it's something that we can always have as memories down the road when we retire, and we can look back at these things. So thank you, guys, and thanks for having me on here.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, Johnny.
Thanks once again to John for joining myself and Neil on the program. We're going to be continuing to bring on current players, former players, executives in the league, as well as we move closer to the 2025 IBL season. We'll also keep you updated with transactions and everything else that is happening IBL related from now until then. It's going to be every couple of weeks. We're still not going to be into that weekly program kind of phase. That's going to be more when the season's actually ongoing. But look for us every couple of weeks to pop in with the news and notes of the IBL and bringing on some of these special guests. We got a couple of people in the offing that we do want to bring on too. And if we haven't reached out to you and you're a current player or you're a former player that wants to join the program, reach out to us via email, iblinsidepitch@gmail.com. Until we see you again, we'll see you next time, and thank you so much for tuning in for the latest episode of the IBL Inside Pitch.